Hi, my name is Sage Granger, and today I'll be doing a webinar for my Business Communications 3350 course. Now I will start by sharing my screen with you so we can start a presentation that is a relevant topic to many business majors. Remember that you can post your questions throughout the presentation. I'll be hosting a Q&A session at the end of the roughly 5-minute presentation. I'm here to discuss some of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and how they can relate to the business world. There are actually 17 global goals set by the United Nations to be met by the year 2030, but today we will focus on some sustainable goals that we as business students could have a direct influence on throughout the course of our careers and the decisions we help make within our own organizations. United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are defined as new, universal set of goals, targets, and indicators that the UN member states will be expected to use to frame their agendas and political policies over the next 15 years. They follow and expand on the Millennium Development Goals, which were agreed on by governments in 2001 and are due to expire at the end of this year. By 2030, and with the coordination of government agencies and businesses on a global scale, the United Nations hopes to achieve these goals to improve standards of living and equitable business practices. All 17 goals are essential to meet those efforts, but 3 of these especially pertain to businesses. We will go over the 3 goals, which are the Affordable and Clean Energy Goal, the Decent Work and Economic Growth Goal, and the Industry, Innovation, and Infrastructure Goal. For each goal, the United Nations has set targets to be met and marked progress since the adoption of the goals in the 2015 United Nations Summit. The first Sustainable Development Goal I will talk about is the Affordable and Clean Energy Goal to ensure access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable modern energy for all. Targets set to achieve this goal include ensuring universal access to modern energy services and substantially increasing shares of renewable energy in the global energy mix. These 2 targets can be achieved by growing international cooperation to facilitate access to clean energy research and technology. This includes renewable energy efficiency, and advanced cleaner fossil fuel, and promoting investment in energy for infrastructure and clean energy technology. By 2030, we will also have expanded infrastructure and upgraded technology for supplying modern and sustainable energy services for all in developing countries. The next goal we will discuss is the Decent Work and Economic Growth Goal to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Some targets to achieve this goal are to develop higher levels of economic productivity through diversification, technological upgrading, and innovation, including a focus on high value-added and labor-intensive developments. By 2030, a sustained per capita growth must be achieved within the means of the global political circumstances would allow, in full productive employment and decent work for all women and men, including those that are young or have disabilities, and pay for equal value. These targets are imperative to achieve should we ever want to achieve this goal. The next goal we will discuss is the Industry, Innovation, and Infrastructure Goal to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. This target to achieve this goal are to promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and significantly raise industry's share of employment and gross domestic product. This can be done by increasing access to small-scale industrial and other enterprises, in particular in developing countries, to financial services, including affordable credit, and their integration into value chains and markets. By 2030, upgraded infrastructure and retrofitted industries should allow for increased sustainable resource use and efficiency, along with the adoption of clean and environmentally sound technologies in industrial processes. Many of you watching will work directly in industries that affect the progress of this goal, so it's very important to keep these targets in mind and promote progress within your organization. To conclude, out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, these 3 are especially affected by the influence of business students entering in the business world. It's important to keep in mind the goals to provide affordable clean energy, decent work, and economic growth to all, while promoting industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Progress towards these goals call for businesses to be socially responsible, so it's critical now to educate ourselves on how our actions help or hinder these goals. Now I see that there are no questions posted for the Q&A segment of this presentation. If any of you watching this on the recorded video later have any questions or comments about this presentation, feel free to contact me at sgranger@lamar.edu. I used two sources to create this presentation. Both articles are from reputable online sources, one being an article on The Guardian written by Liz Ford called Sustainable Development Goals, All You Need to Know. The other is from Sustainable Development Goals Knowledge Platform on the United Nations website called Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you for watching my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for participating in my webinar for Business Communications 3350.